lights in your face, and we are scheduled for one full 10-minute time limit. And making his way to the ring, the native from the Yukon, the Iceman, Eric Freeze, taking on that young man you see your television set from Winnipeg, Manitoba, Canada, Paul Apollo. And Natural, I know that you don't really like him, but you got a lot of respect for a young man by the name of the Iceman.
I tell you what, Iceman Eric Freeze has got to be the IWA. There he is. The fans love him. He's got that kind of superhero look, and with some of those moves that he's doing in the ring, Joe, I gotta believe he's got superhuman powers.
6 foot 2 inches tall, 240 pounds, and I'll tell you what, the Iceman, very hot here in the IWA. Usually a meltdown when that man gets into the ring, believe it or not. And we are set to do battle, Natural.
I'll tell you what, we saw Iceman Eric Freeze a few weeks back wrestle Lionheart Chris Jericho. You know, I have a lot of respect for Jericho. I thought that Jericho was going to give Freeze a wrestling lesson, but it almost ended up being the other way around. Eric Freeze, all of a sudden, in the space of less than a year, has come from being a preliminary wrestler to one of the toughest superstars in the IWA. Eric Freeze is hardcore, Joe Aiello.
I'll tell you one thing, though. The big surprise to me in that match was it was a very scientific, tough battle between Freeze and Jericho. And the fans were right behind the Freeze and Jericho, who I'd have to consider a fan favorite. Nice little handshake there.
Beautiful. That'll be the only move Apollo gets in.
Well, we've got some good... Why can't you be a little bit nicer? The guy's a nice young man trying to make a break for himself in professional wrestling. And he's got himself, well, his hands full anyway.
Well, you know, Joe, I tell you what, Paul Apollo is clearly a kid with a lot of potential. He's a big, rangy kid, kind of like a Kendall Windham or an Eric Watts, but he's a little bit green. I don't want to say he's like the George Gadaski of the IWA, Joe, but he's got a little bit to learn. He's in there with a tough opponent, but that's how you learn.
Reversing hammerlocks here, back and forth, and Apollo with a twist of an arm there, takedown by Freeze, but look at Freeze, a man of many moves. Getting out of that one, nice reversal there, and Freeze on top of the action. And these two men are sizing each other up nicely there, and Freeze takes them down now, and look at this, both men going to work in there, and...
both men going for the same move, Joe, and they both went for an inside Mexican arm drag, and it did not work out very well for either one of them. And there's a crucifix, Joe. Beautiful move. I think this is it.
Only a 2 count, and we were talking about the match between Jericho and Freeze, and I found it very surprising that the fans didn't receive Chris Jericho the way I thought they were going to. Maybe they saw something I didn't.
Well, I tell you what, I'm not quite sure whether it's just that Eric Freeze is that popular or that Chris Jericho has somehow fallen from the favor of the hillbillies in the IWA front row here. But I'll tell you what, Chris Jericho, I'll tell you what, it's interesting because he and Lance Storm were a tag team. Lance Storm has been...
Holy cow!
Lance Storm has been cheered feverishly by the fans here, but Jericho, again, maybe it was because he was in with Freeze, but I'm not sure. And Jericho did not look happy, as we remember.
Freeze just sized up Apollo with a great flying elbow that landed, and there is a wicked chop and another one.
Welcome to the IWA, Apollo.
That's going to leave a couple of nice marks on the chest, the pecs there. Look at that! Sprung himself off the second rope. Nice recovery into that
beautiful springboard drop kick by Freeze, Joe. He's pulling these moves out of nowhere.
Look at this now. He might have him there. Rolls him up. No, only a 2 count there, but Freeze right back on top of things.
Nice inside cradle by Paul Apollo. But I'll tell you what, Eric Freeze is right back on top, or Eric Freeze right back on top of Joe. I'm so excited, Joe. I don't know whether it's sitting here next to you or Eric Freeze up in the ring, but I tell you what, I'm on fire, and you know I'm hardcore.
I know why you're on fire. You're absolutely right. You are hardcore. You and your pal there, Bad News Allen, and the rest of your pals that you're in cahoots with. Oh, unbelievable. It is hardcore. It is the International Wrestling Alliance. Look at that. No recovery time in there for Apollo as Freeze followed up that run into the turnbuckle, and now he is going to be doing some serious damage here to Apollo. Look at this. Another whip coming. Look, oh, the flying knee that lands. Good camera work. You got to see that one land right on the chop.
I'll tell you what, high knee outlet jumping Jim Brunzell. He's a former star of the IWA. He may be back again, but look at Eric Freeze. This could be one of his many big moves, Joe.
Here he goes, setting himself up. Maybe taking a little bit too much time for my liking anyway. Look at that!
Screw splash! That's his big finishing move. A beautiful screw splash, Joe. That move was debuted by Ultimo Dragon in Tijuana, Mexico.
All right, the screw splash wins it for the Freeze, and the nut next to me here, the Natch, and I'll be right back here on IWA Hardcore Wrestling. Your winner, the Iceman, Eric Freeze. All right.